Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing our bonus video for the week. It's a design that I've been dying to do for ages now, and I'm finally here to present it to you. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. Unlike my video I posted this past Sunday night, I wanted to make this video as short as possible, but there's just so much things going on with this design that if I couldn't just cut it out. It's almost like the St. Patrick's Day video. I'm gonna have some moving parts here, or some removable parts rather. But it's a very cute design and I'm so excited to share this, you guys. And lo and behold, we're using shades of pink. And as you know, pink is not my favorite, but this week it surely is. I love, 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 love the colors that are coming off these designs. As you see on my left hand, I've got my geode design going on, and I'm loving how the pinks did on that hand. So this hand, I actually was surprised when I started this out. I had an idea. I actually planned it and I drew it out, and I didn't think it was going to look as good as it ended up becoming. So I am so stoked that it came out so perfect, and I just want to do more of these. So I'm starting off by using my Beetles kit. So I found this color here is a nice soft pink, and I thought it would be perfect to use. I was just gonna actually use maybe a clear from Gelish, but I hate wasting Gelish products. Not wasting, but if I can like hold on to that without having to replace it anytime soon, that would be great. So it's good that I was able to find this soft pink in my Beetles kit. Now I'm using Mia Secret nail forms, and I'm going down to the level of XL. So these are XL nail extensions by Mia Secret. And I am trying this out again. When I got the kit, I used it as a dual form and did not like the experience. But today I'm just using it as a regular polygel, no dual forms. And I'm using their slip solution. It's a little weird, and I don't even know if I'm doing it wrong by using the brush directly into the bottle. Probably not, I don't know. But since this is for my own personal use, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's not so bad. It's not so as bad as the dual form experience. So I'm really liking how this laid out. So I just wanted to form my nail, and then I'm going to be putting on a second layer to form the apex and shape up the nail a bit. I don't want this to be too thick. I want to go as thin as possible because I feel like the added extra layers that I'm going to be doing for this design is going to make it too thick. So I'm trying to go as thin as possible. So I'm really liking the application that I've done here today. I was expecting it to be over the, like, super messy. I remember with the dual forms, the polygel was so sticky, and it was, but as long as I grabbed more of that slip solution, it was pretty gravy. So I ended up liking the application. I did miss the Gelish Polygel because I love how it kind of just stayed. This kind of tends to level off a bit, so I had to watch out for that. And the slip solution was just too gooey. But we are working with exactly what I was intending to do. So far so good. And then I'm doing this to all the rest of my nails, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of filing. Thankfully, I won't be showing the filing, so I wouldn't want to extend this video any longer than it already is. So I'm not going to tell you guys. I mean, I'm sure you could probably figure it out with the thumbnail, or maybe I won't use a picture for the thumbnail, but who knows? I don't know. I probably will. Um, But I really wanted to do this design at some point, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do so. And now I'm just putting on a base coat of the Beetles gel polish. And I'm going to be using their rhinestone glue, and we're just going to go nuts. So funny thing, kid you not, each nail is a different design, and every design I've screwed it up or something went way wrong. So this whole thing took maybe 4 hours, and I feel like I probably a little bit of that time was because I kept messing up. And I don't know if it was because I was too excited and just moving faster than I was thinking, or if it was because it was getting late and I was getting tired like I normally do, but I just kept making mistakes. So, yeah, but I wanted to use these color rhinestones and I wasn't too sure how I wanted to do it. So I kind of just figured out um, a formation here, and I'm going to be flanking it with these rose gold caviar beads. Everything here is going to be super pink. I've got that pink teddy bear there. I had no idea when I would ever be using a teddy bear on my nails. I mean, I normally just go for like abstract looking lines and shapes and stuff, and not necessarily objects. So I'm really glad that I was able to utilize this teddy bear, and there's more of them. And I originally wanted to like put 3 of them up and down the nail, but then I was like, oh, I accidentally bought these pink rhinestones thinking that they were going to be a more ruby color for my July nails, and like a year ago. And when I got them, I'm like, oh no, 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 this is too pink. It's not gonna work. So I may have used it. Oh yeah, I definitely used it for my breast cancer awareness nails this past year. But other than that, I hardly get to use these, so I was definitely gonna make it a point to throw these suckers in. When I drew out the design per nail, it looked a little different from what I started out with, but I'm really glad that I ended up using these rhinestones in this formation on each of the nails just to give it fluidity of the design, and obviously to use up these pink rhinestones that I probably wouldn't end up using so much anyway. And I really think it just makes the design look partially elegant and partially cutesy. So I'm really looking forward for you guys to see the end result on these. But yeah, the caviar beads was just a mess everywhere up to this nail, because I was doing the design and I needed to make a ring with the caviar beads, and for the life of me it didn't click that the last time I did something like this I had put polygel in the center to then put the caviar beads around. And if you don't do that, you're going to be chasing your caviar beads till no end. So I wasted a ton of time trying to make a perfect circle when it's easier to do it with polygel. And after I thought I made a perfect circle, and see there, totally spilled a whole bunch of glitter, and I don't know why I didn't use my cuticle pusher like I normally do to scoop out glitters. So that was another thing. But yeah, so um, since I didn't put that polygel in the center, I did waste a lot of time chasing these caviar beads around to where I just wiped it all off and started all over again, doing the polygel like you see here now in the center. And it's very unfortunate that I spilled all that glitter. I mean, it wasn't a super, I still have a bunch left in that little cup there, but like I just hate wasting products, so I was kicking myself for that too as well. So now that I have polygel to kind of keep these caviar beads in place, it's easier for me to just roll these around. Um, But yeah, some instances it wasn't grappling onto the polygel, and it was uh just this back and forth from keeping the caviar beads attached to the polygel, chasing it around the nail if it was slipping down. It was just a nightmare. I definitely had mustered up all the patience and tolerance for this design. As much as I loved it, I really was getting frustrated with my performance in this whole thing. So after I cured that, I'm just going to put on top coat, like a layer of top coat, and then I'm going to take this Sally Hansen's Miracle Gel Hunger Flames, and I'm going to just draw a little band around this globe here. And I'm really loving the colors that I'm using. It's the same colors that I used on the other hand, so there is fluidity in both designs, even though the left hand's the short nails hand and the right hand is the long nails hand. But as you can see, like I love doing opals like this because you can tell like there's dimension in that circle there. So I really like how that came out, and I'm not done with that yet. So after this Hunger Flames nail polish dries off, I'm going to cap it with more top coat, and the Beetles top coat is pretty thick, so it is adding thickness. It's pretty thick and it's adding thickness to that globe, and it's going to give it more dimension. I love doing stuff like that. Filing it down is no fun, but unfortunately, after this set is done and over with, I'm just going to clip it off at the tip, so I don't need to worry about filing down that globe. I wish I could keep these nails, but I don't know how to, like, remove the nail without destroying it. So anyway, we're moving on to the middle finger here. There's not going to be too much going on in this initial design. I'm putting down the same pieces that we've been putting in the previous nails, and I'm going to be sticking these magnets now. Let's talk about this. This was awful. I have done so many, not so many, but I've done at least a handful of these magnet designs to where you would think that I had it down pat, but no. They were slipping everywhere. The magnets were magnetizing to each other. And I'm like, what the heck? What the heck did I do the first time or last time to keep it from doing that? I just needed to stay put. And the polar sides are not even the same. So obviously I worked around that, but I was trying to get the polar sides to be the same on the magnets. And, it is what it is. So moving on to the next nail, we're again putting the same formation on the rhinestones. And here I'm free-handing with Hunger Flames again. And I think it's so crazy that I'm so used to like using black or white for drawing stuff, and using different colors is just so different for me. But again, I think it works very well with the design, and the colors are just matching up everywhere on both my hands. So I'm really liking that, and I'm really liking the fact that I'm kind of just playing it out. Like I did draw it up, but it's different when you start painting on your nail. So I'm really glad that it's actually turning out the way that I wanted, and it's looking better than I thought it would. So here I'm mixing some white and clear top coat. I want it to be obviously a milky color, and I don't want it to be solid. So this is something that only I will be able to see. You can kind of see it now. We're going to put a second layer, but in person you can see the swirls, and I don't know if that's a normal thing for milk to look like, but that's how I wanted it, and it's exactly how it came out. So here I'm taking Pinkterest, and I was using it on this brim here, but I decided let me just color in this nipple part, and then I'll use the Rapsody red to do the band, because I was gonna flop it, you know, like put red where I'm putting it now, but I was like, that wouldn't look right. And I didn't want to use like a nipple color because that would just be like outside of the shades that I've been using. And I'm really glad I made that switch because I think it ended up looking pretty darn good. So after I do that, I'm just gonna put a little more detail just because I like to, you know, make things look a little bit more intricate than they should be, maybe. So I'm just going to be drawing some lines here, the measurement lines, and then not all bottles are round. This is going to be like a little, you know, rounded off rectangle, square bottle. But moving on to the last nail, this was kind of like maybe not the hardest nail to do, the second to the hardest. Again, I'm putting the rhinestones like we did on the other nails. That part wasn't the hard part. And it would probably be nice if I was in frame. You can tell at this point I'm probably just like over everything. But I had this vision of putting lettering down, and I even Googled some lettering, and I had an idea of how I was going to do it, and it's just really hard, I guess, maybe to use regular nail polish. I was using Hunger Flames and it wasn't working out. I did it like 3 times, and then I just cleaned it up and decided to go with this Sheek white gel polish. And I figured, okay, let's write down the letters in gel polish because it seems to go down easier. And then I was just going to coat it with a color on top, since I already have the letters formed, that it would look better than I originally was trying to, because for some reason, again, the regular nail polish wasn't laying down as smooth as I wanted it to. So as you can see, I'm writing "It's a Girl." And the lettering wasn't what I looked up by any means, but I guess this is going to be my default font. This is going to be the font that I'm going that I'm going to be using here and thereafter, because it seems like it's the only font that I can do very well and that comes out looking how I want it to look. I wish I could be a little bit more talented and be able to do cursive and all this jazz, and I think that's going to be a thing over time. But since I already spent like 4 hours trying to figure my life out with this design, I will probably try doing different fonts in another design that's not going to take this long. So again, I'm using Hunger Flames now, and I'm just using it to cover up the white lettering. And if you could see on my sticker backing, I have 2 blops of Hunger Flames, only because the first one I put down was me trying to write it before I used the gel polish, and because it took so long to figure that out, it dried up, so I had to use a different section of the backing to put another dollop of Hunger Flames and be able to have it fluid to use to cover this lettering here. I mean, this whole thing was definitely a labor of love. But yeah, I think it definitely came out so super cute. And we're not even done yet. I did most of it, but we have the last bit to go. And if you're with me still, thank you so much for keeping in to this video. I know it's a long one, but there's just so much going on here that you can take away piece by piece if you'd like to replicate any of the nails that I am doing today. But yeah, after this, we're gonna move on to the next bit. I would top coat this now, but I'm gonna let this dry, so I'm gonna be moving on to the last part of this design and give it a minute to dry up a bit. That's what I did with this nail here. since I was using the regular polish of that Rapsody red to like just dry up, and now I'm just gonna like seal that all in with the top coat. So here I'm taking some sticker backing and I put down the magnets to adhere to the hello. I said maggots. The magnets below. Um, and this is just a hack if you want to make sure that those magnets line up. I love doing this, you guys. Like you know, want to come up with different kinds of magnet charms to put on your nails and something that's interchangeable. At most, you can have nails last for 2 weeks. You can do an infill and make it last even longer, but you can always switch up the design by switching up your charms, I feel. So, maybe I'll do down the road like a charm challenge where, you know, I'll keep infilling my nails and just change up the charms to give a whole different look. And I have no idea how I'm gonna. I mean, I guess when I do the infill, I can apply a different background color. Okay, so maybe I'll try that. I just gotta find the right time to do it because it's going to be a lot involved, and I want to be sure that I will be able to do this for a certain amount of time. I don't want to do it for too long, then it could be kind of mundane and boring. But I'll have to come up with some charms, and I'll figure something out. So here I'm just laying down some gelish polygels, of course. I got my bright white that I'm using for the body and the head. And here I've got the clear, and I'm going to mix in some of this silver glitter. And I'm going to be using this to form the wings. So we are making a bird, and I will let you know what kind of bird this is towards the end of the video. If you already know, leave a comment below. So I normally draw out pieces that I know have to be somewhat symmetrical to each other, as I've done in the past, like with the butterfly charms. But I didn't do that here. I don't know what my brain was thinking. I figured I can just eyeball it and make it similar to each other. And then I realized this first wing that I did is not what I did in the second wing. And you would think that if I had like a form that I was looking at already made, that it would be easier to match that shape. Nope. I don't know what I was on, but the second wing that I end up doing is not gonna look the same as this one, the first one that I did. And it has to mirror itself too. I had to remember that because I didn't it has to go on each side, and if I wanted to use the flat backs, so I wanted to use the side that the polygel is laying on the sticker backing, so it's nice and smooth. So I had to make sure that I form this wing in mirror image from the other one. So I think that's maybe where I was thrown off a bit, trying to make these match, because I wasn't like, it took me a second to think, oh, which way is this supposed to be going? And this wing is obviously bigger than the other one, so what can you do? Maybe at this point I thought that I could possibly just like file it down, but I didn't even do that. I got really lazy towards the end of this design because 4 hours, you guys, is a lot, and already like my voice is cracking up because it is too much talking and no water. I'm gonna do that now. Pardon me. It's probably not gonna help. Oh, maybe a little bit. Okay, so I had made a little circle before, but it was too big. So I'm taking a smaller bead, and I'm gonna cover this in pink, the pink polygel that I use to do my nails. And it's fine if that bead is still showing through because I'm going to be painting over that with the Sally Hansen Pinkterest nail polish. And I just want to make this nice and round. We're going to make a little sachet here that the bird is going to be holding. And mind you, I kind of had this idea planned out, but I had no idea structurally how I was going to make this all planned out. So what you're seeing is me going through the motions and hoping for the best. So I'm just loosening up my objects here. I put some clear polygel on top of that sachet, and I'm going to place the bird head on top. I'm going to smooth out that clear polygel to make sure that the beak adheres to the sachet. But I'm also going to form it so that it looks like it's holding something, I guess. Meanwhile, I am using the tweezers because I need something to hold it down and the head is too heavy, so it's kind of like, bending. But I did cure that, so that's cured now, and I'm moving on to the neck pieces. So I'm putting a dollop of the bright white onto the bodice, and then I'm going to end up putting more bright white under the bird's head, because right now it's kind of half a head. As you can see there, it's a flat bottom, and I want to round it out. So I'm just going to take my tweezers and hold it, hopefully in frame. We're just going to smooth this out. I just want to complete the rest of this head, and we're going to cure that, and I'm going to put more polygel. And mind you, like, I don't have that much bright white left of this polygel, and I needed these polygels from Gelish because they're firmer than the other polygels I have, and I need it to hold the pieces in place without having me assist it so much. So I'm really glad that I was able to make it this size and make it work. But again, I'm putting more polygel onto the neck so that I can connect the head. And the head wants to fall off, so now I'm just gonna like try to smooth this out. It's a little insane. You have to play with it every now and then. I figured let's smooth it out the first time, so when we plop this head on, we don't have to worry about doing that later. It's a learning process, doing these weird things, you end up learning a technique that works better for you, and I should be the master of making birds with polygel. So again, just smoothing the polygel on this end, so that the only connection we have to worry about smoothing out is the one I'm making now, right here. It doesn't help that this is so tiny. I was actually trying to make this piece before I did my extensions in the middle of the week, but it's just been getting so busy just trying to get stuff done. I mean, like I said in my previous video, I'm working from home, but there's just so much more now that I can do that I'm trying to do. Be a not a super mom, but like a super wife or whatever. Cook and clean and videos and work, and it's just, you would think that it would be better working from home, but it is, but it isn't, because there's just so much that you can do and you want to get done. And there isn't enough time in the day. So I took more polygel, put on the side here, and I'm sticking this wing on. I'm going to be smoothing that polygel out to the bodice and to the wing. And we're going to do this one at a time because the sucker is sticking, but it is slowly falling down. So you just want to do one side, cure it, and then now, obviously we're working on the other side. and doing the same thing, putting a chunk of polygel on that side, and then we're just going to push this wing in, and then we're going to take the slip solution to smooth it out and secure that bond. And you can kind of tell that the wings aren't the same size, but you know what? It's so tiny, and you'd really have to stare at it to like tell the difference, I think. So after we cure that, I'm just going to apply more polygel onto the back side to just cover up any of those lines that we made from sticking the wings in. Just make sure that we give this a little bit more thickness too. And after I cure that, I'm going to work on this sachet here. We got to make a little bundle, a pink bundle. I can't wait to do blue. That'd be great. Then if you had like a boy and a girl, would you have to do purple, or would you have to like, you know, have 2 sachets? Like how would that work? I have no idea. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. But I'm using Sally Hansen's Pinkterest, and I'm putting on like a pretty thick layer, so I'm kind of surprised that that sucker dried really fast. But I guess because it's just a small object, that it ended up drying fast. And I think, yeah, like I'm putting on an extra coat to make sure that it's nice and covered. And I was trying so hard not to touch the bird with the nail polish, because that obviously wouldn't look right. But yeah. And I'm going to put like a little fake band here, like it's tied around the beak. Can't be losing those babies now, you know. That would be a huge party foul. So again, I'm going back to that thumbnail that I was waiting for the nail polish to dry. And I'm putting on some top coat, and we're going to be curing this up. And again, I did these nails super thin so that with all the layering that I'm putting on, it's actually a pretty nice thickness. I actually ended up liking the amount of thickness I had for each nail. And I actually rocked the nails without anything on them the night before. And I was really liking it. You know, the thickness, the length, the color. It was just really, it was getting to me. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. I was liking it. So here I'm taking some Pearlized Powder by Born Pretty, and I'm just gently brushing this all over the bird. Now, so I did not nail cleanse any of this stuff, so there is some sort of stick to it. So after I had put on those powders, I'm going to take some top coat and I'm going to seal everything in. First the wings, show them off. It's always satisfying to see clear top coat on clear polygels, as you know. And here I'm just going to be putting top coat everywhere on this bird, seal everything in, making sure that all those powders stay on there. I love the color that it's giving off with the pearl, so it does look like this bird has feathers on there, some sort of texture. And I'm just doing the underside to seal those magnets in. In the past, I didn't do that, and I kept fidgeting with the magnets that it actually ended up coming out. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other end of these magnets, the other side of these magnets, and then I'm going to nail cleanse the whole kit and caboodle because that top coat does leave a sticky layer. And this is the end of the road. This is the cuticle oil that I'm putting and rubbing in onto each nail. And we all know what's coming up next. And this has been like a super fun 30 plus minutes that I have been talking to you guys about because I'm so stoked about this design. And here it is, my It's a Girl nail design with the bird on top. Those objects, the rattle, the bottle, the bear, it looks just so super perfect. Like it came out of like a book or something. And I love that dimension off of the rattle. And this is so cute. I just can't. I love this and I cannot wait to do like a blue design next. And here's a close-up of the bird. Gonna remove it. I normally decorate the magnets below, but I honestly gave up at that point, so there's just 2 buttons there. But this is just one of my favorites of all time right now. And I hope you really liked it too. It's insane that I freaking did that bird. That's just crazy. Well, there you have it. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And join me again next time. I'm going to be doing super long nails. And I can't wait to see you then. Thanks. Bye.